Hey guys, welcome back to another crypto video, and today we're gonna be talking about Cardano ADA, as I got a very good story for you guys today with a lot of information. But first off, make sure you check out the Discord. A link for that is in the description. Make sure you check it out right now, and make sure you send a message in the chat room here, and also send me a personal message. If you go ahead and do that right now, the first person to comment something here with position will get a gift. All right, you will get something from me. So make sure you go ahead and go in here right now. It's going to be very cool. I'll tell you guys more about that soon. But before we get into it, make sure you understand that this whole video is by no means financial advice. Everything said in this video is purely my opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Now, having said that and the people knowing, first off, I want to introduce you guys to the $40 million Binance hack that happened last night. Yeah, it was crazy. It was very wild, but Binance got hacked. Hackers stole $40 million, 7,000 BTC, and it is quite crazy. But having said that, we actually can go into the first article, which is Charles Hoskinson on when crypto will be ready for institutional money. All right, I quickly got to mention again, Binance actually has a hashtag Seifu fund, which will cover all the damages to all the people who would have lost their BTC. So there's no loss for the persons involved, only for Binance themselves. But for any of you who had money on Binance, you don't have to be worried. But it's still really quite interesting how such a thing could have happened. There's a very big discussion on Twitter going on, but we'll get to that in a second here. Charles Hoskinson on when crypto will be ready for institutional money. And the whole institutional money discussion is always kind of interesting because yeah, it's taken a very long time, but with very good reason as well. Because when we're thinking about institutional money, we're talking about the big players moving money into crypto, into this volatile space of hackers, scammers, and insecurity, private keys, things like that. And it's definitely also a kind of scary place for those bigger players. So Charles Hoskinson says that within 10 to 11 years, there's going to be another bull run. And within that time, there's a ton of things that should have been changed. Hopefully, billions of people are going to be using it, but also just the whole technology is going to have a crazy update. Now, in the first lines here, he says, it will take another 12 to 24 months for the crypto ecosystem to be fully ready for institutional money to enter the space. And I found that so interesting because he thinks a bull run is going to be in 10 to 11 years from now, because then the ecosystem will be matured enough for all of that, for a bull run, and there will be a lot of things that I've updated within that time. But on the contrary, things that institutional money can come in with 12 to 24 months. And now, Charles Hoskinson has been receiving a lot of backlash and a lot of controversy because some people say he's the biggest overhyped character in the crypto space. And on the contrary, some people are praising him like a god because of his knowledge and of his approach with Cardano, which I can understand both sides. But I'm more so on the god side because he's definitely spoken a lot of fire. He's got a lot of really reasonable predictions and speaks a lot of things out on Twitter that I just see appeal to me and I think are true as well. So I do agree with him on a lot of points. Though, what really has to happen in this space is actually, again, said here. The really smart money is aware that the market is not yet stable and that it is just not at the level of maturity yet to support an institutional surge. And I can definitely feel this. I can definitely understand that he said this, and I again think this is true to a certain extent as well. Now, what we have seen with institutional clients, institutional money, is that they really want their money to be secure, right? We have custodial services, we have multi-signature, we have VKey popping up here, but still, there might not be enough security in terms of stability of price or still the private keys that some people are worried about possibly, or quick 10% loss in your value that people are just not prepared to take. These bigger players are not prepared to take that risk. And with time here, hopefully this VK, as an example, is just going to pop in and really conquer the space. But multi-signature and custodial services might not just cut it for some of these people. And within some time, within 1 to 2 years, there most likely will have been another big amount of developments which really can support their stability. And why I'm saying stability so specifically is because, as an example here, with the Binance hack, CZ from Binance, the CEO, Jihan Wu, the CEO from Bitmain, and another few key players in Bitcoin actually sat down and discussed what they should do about this hack. And one really scary thing they discussed was actually a sort of rollback for BTC. So they really wanted to have a whole reorganization in the Bitcoin chain, meaning that those transactions were going to be sort of reversed, see it like that. And that is really crazy because this could have caused tons of problems. This could have really broken the Bitcoin chain in two, really have had major consequences, really distorting the legitimacy of Bitcoin, all because of some big players. And that's really where some people start to get scared, but also where these institutional clients are like, hey, I don't want my money to be ruled by just a few big individuals or a few big companies here, instead of, the centralized companies, which I know I can quote unquote trust. I definitely understand that. To some, it is definitely still a scary space, but with time here, I think it will get better and better. Now, he stressed that the institutional investors such as BlackRock, or should institutional investors such as BlackRock, an American global investment management corporation, allocate only 0.5% of their portfolio in crypto, it would bring billions of dollars into the market. And really, with this market cap that we have right now, that would still be quite insane. BlackRock ended 2018 with $6 trillion in assets under management, which is still already like an insane amount. I didn't even know. And at the time of writing, crypto market cap stands at 190 billion. So 0.5% of this 6 trillion would still be a crazy amount. But as reported in May, a survey that of more than 400 institutional investors showed that 4 in 10 respondents say they're open to investments in cryptos over the next 5 years. Moreover, 22% have already exposed their assets to it. And on the rest of the article is just about Shelley here, about Cardano's move towards decentralization. And we can definitely see how decentralization is really a key in the whole crypto space here, and really what's going to make these institutional adopters possibly like it a little bit more. But guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter. I've posted a lot of cool things over the last 24 hours, so you guys must check me out. The Dust TBC, make sure you follow me on Twitter right now. Now, following another article from Input Output HK, where Charles Hoskinson is, of course, the CEO of, read the latest blog post on Cardano 2020, delivering on the vision, new roadmap, product demos, and regular updates will highlight progress. Check it out here. And if you press it, you'll find the IOHK page. It is about everything. So it is actually really a cool article. I recommend you guys all to quickly read through it yourself. You can see the people responding here are really quite positive about the whole situation really being good. But as we are making this transition, we recognize that we need a better way to communicate how Cardano's 2020 vision is being delivered, and that we should do a better job at keeping the community informed about our status against those goals. Here's what we're doing to accomplish those things. We are working on a redesign of the Cardano Roadmap website that will do a better job describing our upcoming release phases. So if you check the roadmap out yourself once, they actually took it down now. Okay, that is interesting. All right, so we can actually compare before and after. They're really updating it right now, hopefully then. But if you checked it out, you can see the phases are quite difficult to understand for some people. They're hopefully going to make that easier. And you can expect to see it live in 2 to 4 weeks. So the roadmap we've been waiting for a couple of months here is going to be maximum of 1 month away, if they don't delay. Aligned with the keynote speech from Charles at the recent IOHK Summit, the new roadmap site will provide a clear definition of delivery phases, how they fit together, and what will deliver when. So again, that's going to be amazing for us, for just the overview and just the ease of use and ease of understanding. I think this will be amazing. And we've recently improved our organizational processes to support this phase of development, where long-promised functionality becomes reality. Of course, that was something that was quite big. And past versions of our roadmap had feature-level percentage complete indicators. We put a lot of effort into those, but even with all that, they fell victim to the same thing Tom Cargill at Bell Labs described in his famous and funny but a bit painful if you build software quote. The first 90% of the code accounts for the first 90% of development time. The remaining 10% of the code accounts for the other 90% of the development time. I really already knew this one. This was kind of funny. What this really is saying is like, all right, you complete 90% of a project, right? You complete 90% of the code. And then there's only a small little 10% left. And with Cardano, they work with percentage signs. So whenever they were like, all right, we finished 50% of the code, they would put it at 50%. Whenever they thought we were 90% done, they put it at 90%. And then comes the last 10%, and you start to find out another bug or another thing that did not work in the real end. And the last 5% or 10% or 1% is really the most difficult and really takes another much as the first 90% of the time. Because, as an example here, 90% of the coding, again, just really oversimplified example, can just be code that you know out of memory. Just code you've memorized, you know how to do really simply. Just writing is what it takes. It just takes some time to really get into it and write everything out, but you know what to do. And then comes the 10% of things you need to fix. So in similarities, things you've never seen before, or things that are really out of the ordinary, or things you've never witnessed that you still need to make or to code or to fix. And that's going to take a lot of time. And I just understand this quote a real lot. And that's also why, as an example, the Cardano delays are, of course, not planned, because there's things that in the end take a little bit more. That's, again, with the example that we took last time about the corpses that they found. If you're going to build a building in London, as an example, and you want to build a very big hotel, right? But you first got to clear the ground that it is right now. And if you find some corpses in the ground, there's some really big amount of unexpected delays. And with Cardano as well, they planned everything out so strictly, but they found some quote-unquote corpses in the ground and just had some really unexpected delays. And it's nothing that they personally would like, really cost them a lot of money as well, but it is there, it happens. But where our dev team shows the latest finished working components and delivered them to the community, so you have a real understanding of our development progress. This is again in the roadmap. Because the last 10% that sometimes becomes another 90% has to be really done in order to demonstrate working functionality. Again, the last 10% is really the most functional thing that needs to happen. At the same time we deliver the recorded progress demos, we will also deliver a status report summarizing the work completed, and I'll do an AMA session where I'll describe the latest results and answer questions from the community. This will happen every month or two based on progress milestones. Again, that's going to be very interesting. Every month or two, another AMA session. Going to be quite cool. The first demo status update and AMA will come later this month. I'll be joining you guys from the Cardano Effect within the next few weeks to talk more about our new roadmap and reporting process, so keep an ear out for that. Got lots of exciting stuff coming up to share. Then moving over into another article, which I actually just found, is Cardano the Velociraptor of crypto? Cardano Smart Adapter. I found it a very interesting title. I really wanted to click quickly. I don't know if a title like this would do good for me, but it was a very appealing one to me. Cardano creator Charles Hoskinson discusses the lessons from the past blockchain projects, and maybe what they're meaning with this article is Cardano the thing that is going to do good or is really fast still, even though some people don't expect it? I don't know really how you can compare it with Velociraptor. Let's quickly see if they actually posted it more in the article. I don't think they did, right? Because I don't really still know after reading the article why they named it Velociraptor at this point. But what the whole article is actually about is that Charles is really on his way to creating a perfect system. And we know their approach. We know that they're slow, philosophical, and doing it the way that they really want to without imperfections, and that makes them slow. But Velociraptors are not slow, so again, I don't really get that. It could be that they mean it because of this line here, even though they're talking about I really still, up to this point, don't know why they've chosen this. Well, still, again, here they say Hoskinson is holding a large, tame raptor of the feathered kind. Once my mind had made that association, there was no way to unsee it. No, okay, I'm still not falling for that one. But let me explain. They're explaining here how Cardano has learned so much from other blockchains doing things wrong, and from themselves doing things wrong, and from how projects really unfold. And that's definitely something key with the view of Cardano and the way that they like to do things. The philosophical approach, as I said before, really works with a lot of knowledge from the past, historical knowledge, and just really fixing the issues that we've seen before. As an example, scalability and interoperability are really things that blockchains have struggled with before. Cardano is really trying to fix that because they know how important it can be. A decentralization phase earlier, yet not at the beginning, because it's not a core thing for popular. It's actually a little bit difficult to explain, I'm now noticing, though it is definitely smart. And whatever order they chose to do things in, there's a lot of thinking behind that. And there's definitely a lot that has to happen with Cardano still, but they're really well experienced on whatever they do. As an example here, Charles Hoskinson also worked on Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Don't forget that. He knows what blockchains are about. He knows what goes in them, and he wants to do them safe and right the first time, which is why everything is going a little bit slower. These are lessons from Spielberg and Crichton. There's more talks about this, and I can't cover all the quotes in here because it would take an hour or 6, but this is again another article that is a must read to any Cardano lover, by Andrew Ancheta. It's an amazing one. And this article was by David Esser. These 2 articles, man, check them out. Give them some credit. They're amazing. But Cardano is definitely doing a slow approach because it's the better thing for them to do, and I'm totally with that. Cardano gains marketing momentum following internal restructuring. This is something we've covered before, though they're becoming more and more popular, is what people have been saying. Here you can see February, they got a low point. March, a little bit up. April, a little bit up as well. And now probably in May, they're even going to be higher than that. 50% bounce rate is actually quite nice, right? And now, again, I don't know if there's anything you really need to know from here. I think we covered almost everything that they're describing here. One of the things only is like the Reddit from Cardano has just been blowing up. Cardano ADA revamps the marketing strategy. Subreddit and Twitter channels grow massively. Yes, that has happened, which is what this part here is also about, showing the growth of the socials from the project. But I don't add too much value to social growth. I mean, there's a lot of things you can really manipulate over there. So I would say it's also a lot about engagements, but then again, you can also manipulate those if you want. I don't know where to really add legitimacy, but it is cool to see with subreddit, I would say. Subreddit, not that many people try to mess up. It grew from 200,000 to 400,000 in less than 2 months, which is really amazing. And last but not least, these 2 articles here. Cardano price analysis, but that is useless, right? Reveals a rise to 45 cents before the end of 2019. Will ADA hit 45 cents by December? Well, it could, but we don't know. And top losers, Binance hack cost market $4 billion as price of BNB, Cardano, Ethereum drop. The whole market dropped after the Binance hack. A lot of people were really scared of the hack and had a lot of strange feelings. They didn't really know what to expect and what really happened. It did, some of these coins made them fall a little bit. BTC handled really well, though. Even though there was just so much news going around about a whole restructuring of the chain, I find it interesting how they cannot be this scared in the whole market and sold out their crypto. But here you can see a lot of people are happy with CZ, and I'm also really happy with how he's being transparent towards everybody. Justin Sun, though, trying to get in on these moves as well, but more about that coming up later in a video today. I think I'm just going to make a Tron video, or maybe a live stream or an update to everybody who's interested. Might be in the middle of the night, though. I still gotta check out what I gotta do, because there's so much stuff that I really want to cover, but the notifications are finished for this video, so for this day, so it's gonna be interesting. But we'll see. Make sure you check out all the links in the description below, and most importantly, the Discord, and make sure you check these things out. Not CoinMarketCap, I don't know why I opened that one. Instagram, the DustDBC, make sure you follow me. FreeBitcoin.in is a place to grab free Bitcoin. I recommend you guys all to check it out because it's free Bitcoin, so why not? Ledger, make sure you buy yourself a hardware wallet here. I recommend the Ledger Nano X because it's just new and actually works with Bluetooth. It's to keep your funds safe so you don't get hacked. Don't leave your funds on exchanges, guys. Binance just got hacked. Make sure you got yourself a hardware wallet. And Twitter, make sure you follow me on there, as I said, the DustDBC. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Have a nice one, everybody.